Hi, everyone. A warm and lovely welcome to the motivational segment. My name is Inonge, and I am so glad to have people already online. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for actually, setting aside time to be with me in this motivational segment. We have a very interesting topic, and that is how to keep on track, how to keep on track, or how to stay on track. You see, our theme for this month is we live a purpose driven life. We live a purpose driven life. And the anchor scripture is 1 Corinthians 7 and verse 20. So, for one to live a purpose driven life, that means that purpose that they have discovered is their reason for existence. They have to keep doing it till the day they actually pass on to eternal glory. So, our theme is we live a purpose driven life. And today we have a very, very interesting topic. So, for those that are online, please like and share, drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're on Facebook, you might as well as create a watch party. And then if you're watching us from YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as share with your friends and loved ones. A very, very, very warm welcome. Please drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. I can see that people are online right now. And I would really, really, be encouraged if you drop that comment and let me know where you're watching from. It's very important that I acknowledge you as the VIPs of this show of Moments with Inonge. So please drop a comment. Let me know where you are actually watching from. Drop those comments, guys. Drop those comments, guys. Let me know where you are watching from. Like I said, we have a very, very interesting topic, and I wouldn't want to take much of your time or my time because I just want to dive into this and just unleash whatever it is that has been laid in my heart to give unto you, the fans and followers of Moments with Inonge. Please drop your comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know where you're watching from. As well as if you're watching via YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and also like and share. For those that are watching via Facebook, create a watch party. Create a watch party, like and share. Tag your friends in the comments. You can tag your friends in the comment. We have a very interesting topic this evening if you're watching from Southern Africa, afternoon if you're watching from New Jersey, New York, and this morning if you're watching from Asia. So wherever you're watching from, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I am so, so glad that you actually took time to be part and parcel of our motivational segment. Well, we're gonna just go right in, right in. Please drop your comments. Drop your comments. Let me know where you're watching from. Drop those comments. Let me know where you are actually watching from. Like I said, our topic for discussion is how to keep on track. How to keep on track. And we laid a foundation of this topic yesterday during our inspirational segment. For those that didn't watch the inspirational segment, I would urge you to replay so that you know the foundation of this topic, because what we're doing today is actually just building a block or blocks on top of the foundation. So today what we're doing during the motivational segment is we'll be raising the building. We'll be putting blocks upon the building. And then in tomorrow's leadership segment, we are actually going to be roofing the building. We're going to be roofing the building. So for those that missed out on the inspirational segment, I urge you, my sister, my brother, please find time to replay this the inspirational segment so that you have an understanding of where this whole topic, how to keep on track, is coming from. We have a comment actually before we just get started, and it's coming from Manfred, and Manfred says, watching from Lusaka, Lilai. Hey Manfred, thank you for tuning into our motivational segment. I hope and trust that you'll be inspired as well as motivated to keep on doing what you do the best way you know how to do it. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Keep those comments coming. Keep those comments coming. And we go right into our topic, how to keep on track. How to keep on track. Like I mentioned, this topic began yesterday in the inspirational segment, and today we're just adding our blocks to the foundation that we laid yesterday. So to get us started, um, we basically were looking at how to keep on track, and we mentioned some ways, some three major ways on how to keep on track according to the scripture, according to Apostle Paul in the Bible. So one of the first things that Paul actually said was, follow those you see running the same course, those people that have the same goal. So he said, follow those that you see running the same course, those that you see that have the same goal. So immediately, that we got that point. The first thing that came to my mind to say, you know what, how do I turn this point into some motivation? Like, how do I draw motivation out of this point? The first thing that came to my mind was the famous parable that obviously most of us, if not all of us that are currently watching, have heard. And that parable is, birds of the same feather flock together. Birds of the same feather flock together. Now, I just want to ask you, in one or two words, what's the first thing that crosses your mind when you hear this parable, birds of the same feather flock together? I'll just give you maybe 30 seconds just to type one or two words that crosses your mind. Immediately you hear it, like what crosses your mind? Just 30 seconds for you to type that. What crosses your mind whenever you hear birds of the same feather flock together? Birds of the same feather flock together. Please drop your comments. I would really, really love to find out what the first thing that crosses your mind, when you just hear that saying that birds of the same feather flock together. While you're typing, in the interest of time, because we have so much to share, I'll just go on and I think share something that I can relate with, and I hope you can relate with this too when it comes to the saying that birds of the same feather flock together. You see, what this actually reminds me of is those days, those days as I was growing up, when I would do something wrong and my father would sit me down. And whenever my father is upset with me, he would call me directly Inonge. But when he's not upset with me, he would call me Nono. So in these times when he's upset with me, he'll go like, Inonge, those friends you hang around with, they are the reason why you are behaving like this. Birds of the same feather flock together. I don't know how many people can really relate, but every time I hear this proverb, I remember how my father would scold me, for the wrong activities that I did, and, try to put the blame on my friends. The friends that I was associating with. He would just say, birds of the same feather flock together. There is no way you can hang around with that person and, not do this. So that is just my experience. I hope and trust that you would type a comment in one or two words, just letting me know how you can actually reflect, like what crosses your mind when it comes to birds of the same feather flock together. Anyway, this is our motivational segment on Moments with Inonge, which is always a motivational segment with a twist. So today we're flipping the page. We're flipping the page from always remembering our elders scolding at us of how the reason why we're behaving the way we're behaving is because of the company that we keep. Like they say, there's always two sides to a coin. There's always two sides to the coin. There is the head and there is the tail. So now we're going to look at the other side of this parable. Birds of the same feather flock together. When I think of birds of the same feather flock together, and I look at the advice that we got from our inspirational segment that says, follow those you see running the same course that have the same goal. You know, there is a reason why birds usually flock together. There is a reason why when the season changes, and it's now time for the birds to move from this location to go to a different location, that they actually flock together. One of the greatest reasons that birds usually do this is because of safety. Birds usually do that. They usually flock together because of safety. Why am I saying safety? I am saying safety because if a bird is alone, if it's alone, it's very easy for the predator, to catch that bird and have it for a meal, be it breakfast, be it lunch, or be it dinner. It's very easy for it to be caught. But when a bird, is among other birds, it really intimidates the predator. And I've also observed this, and I pretty much guess for those that have watched National Geographics on DSTV, you've noticed that animals usually, not just birds, but animals usually, they like to stay together. They like to stay together, especially when they notice that the enemy is around. So one reason why birds do this is because of safety. One reason why animals do this is because of safety. So because on Moments with Inonge, we are all about adding block upon block, we're going to shift our attitude concerning the mindset that we have when it comes to this parable, which is the mindset that I had too, that anytime you hear the saying, birds of the same feather flock together, it has to do with bad habits. It can also be in line with good habits. Just as we were admonished in yesterday's inspirational segment to follow those we see running the same course, we can actually stick with those that we see doing the same thing. You see, for instance, an example that I'm going to give is the power of association. As a chartered accountant, I belong to an association. And our association, we have annual meetings in Livingstone. In Livingstone, that's Zambia, Southern Province. We have annual meetings, say, should be about April, where we meet, regardless whether you belong to, you've studied Zika or you've studied SCCA or you've studied SEMA. We tend to meet. We tend to meet as an association of accountants. I know there is a nursing association. I know there's a teachers association. I know even lawyers have an association. Doctors have an association. One thing is for sure. Why do these people have associations? Why do these major groups have associations? One reason is that these associations are built for safety. What happens is that when you attend, I'll speak on my behalf, when you attend the annual meetings, the accountants' annual meetings, whether you're SCCA, Zika, or SEMA, what happens is that they remind you what the ethics and standards that are governing the accounting practice are. They are able to tell you what new things have come in and what things have actually phased out. They are able to remind us about all these things during that annual meeting. It's an association, and afterwards, there's some networking that goes on. And as you network with fellow accountants, you get to realize that there are some people that have already gone through what your current challenge is. So, as you network, what happens is that that thing that was a challenge unto you, you meet people that have gone through it, and you'll be able to be told how they actually went through it. So, one of the ways to follow through, how to keep on track, is to keep an association of the people that are doing the things that you do. If, for instance, I'll mention something else that I do. I'm into selling of clothes. I run boutiques. So what we do is that we've got a group. We've got a group of people that actually sell clothes. Actually sell clothes. And we tend to share, we tend to share these things. We tend to discuss. You tend to learn one from another. You tend to learn from somebody who's been in the business for a long time. You tend to learn, you say you want to maybe move from or add to your business. Say if you are selling only dresses and now you want to start doing shoes. You tend to ask those that have been selling shoes, how do you sell shoes? How do you do this? And one thing that I've really greatly come to appreciate is that when it comes to an association, you tend to learn a lot from people that have gone ahead of you. The mindset that limits people that do not benefit from an association is the mindset of rivalry, where you see somebody that is doing the same thing that you're doing as a rival. One thing I've come to really greatly appreciate in my, trading in the clothing industry is that I have friends. I have friends whom, if I cannot travel, they will go to China and buy things on my behalf. And they will not compromise on the quality of the things that they've bought. Why? They do not see me as a rival. That mentality is not there. My shop is actually next to their shop, but they are able to go. When I'm not able to go, they're able to go and buy stuff for me. That's the power of association. Associating with people who are running the same race with you and have the same goal with you. The pie is big enough. You only have to know which part of the pie that you eat. Because if you think the pie is small enough, those people that actually would do a friend a favor when they are not able to, they'll just be thinking, should I go and order these things for this person so that they come and sell or take away my customers? No. At the end of the day, I've really come to understand that you can be in one place. You can be in one place, like the marketeers. Let me not even go far. Let me give you an example of marketeers. They all sell vegetables. They all sell tomatoes. But at the end of the day, there is that one person that you go to when you want to get tomatoes. There is that one person that another person will go to when they want to get tomatoes. So whenever you want to keep in track, the first thing, or maybe one thing amongst the many things that you need to do, is to follow those you see running the same course. Change that mentality of, if somebody is doing the thing that you do, they are your rival. Change that mentality and you will grow. Because another way that this thing of following the people that have gone ahead of you or that have the same goal is having a mentor. But then if you look at a person who's gone ahead of you or who is pursuing the same thing with you but has advanced, and you are too proud to actually go and learn from them, you won't. You won't make it in good time. One thing that I've come to enjoy is that in this, my public speaking, I have come to enjoy divine speed because of the mentors that I have. What would have taken me maybe 5 years to learn, I have learned in maybe 2 or 3 coaching sessions or mentorship sessions. The power of association. The power of association. So I guess we've gotten that concept to say, when it comes to birds of the same feather, there is another side. It's not only about the bad habits, but it can also be attributed to the good habits. If you have discovered your purpose, and as you live a purpose-driven life, associate with the people that are in that same, in that same path that you're taking. If, for instance, like I am a speaker, a trainer, and a coach, it is only wise for me to associate with speaker trainers and coaches because I will know what time it is. I will know where there are vacancies. I will know where there are speaking engagements and whatnot. Change your mentality. Change your mentality. I am changing my mentality. I hope you do as well. So another thing that we were admonished to do is to be aware, is to actually be aware of those that are taking other paths, those that are choosing other goals and trying to get you to go along with them. As we ponder upon this point of being aware that there'll be other people taking other paths and choosing other goals, I would love for you just to, just take a second and think about it. Just take a second and actually think about it. Think about how this thing actually relates to our day-to-day life. I'll just give you maybe about 30 or even 20 seconds just to reflect on what this is all. Well, I guess that picture explains a lot. I guess that picture says a lot. You see, our theme is we live a purpose-driven life. One thing that I would love to encourage somebody that is actually watching this motivational segment is that, when you find out what your purpose is, and when you decide to embark on the journey of the fulfillment of that purpose, what is going to happen is that you're going to realize that not many are taking that path. Not many are taking that path. The path to the fulfillment of purpose can be a lonely path at times. It can be a lonely path at times. I say this from experience because you'd have friends, and these friends, one is involved in this, one is involved in that, one is involved in that. And then you come up and realize and you discover to say, you know what, this is actually my purpose. This is what I was born to do. The moment that you decide to go and start pursuing that purpose, you are actually going to realize that you cannot carry the crowd with you, that it is a lonely path. The path to greatness is a lonely path. Not many take it, because if many took it, we're going to have a lot of successful people. We're going to have a lot of prosperous people. We're going to have a lot of people that are living purpose-driven lives. And once you're living a purpose-driven life, you've got no choice but to make it in life because you're in God's will. The path to living a purpose-driven life can be lonely. Don't be discouraged. And because of that loneliness, what we actually tend to do is we tend to want others to come along with us. We tend to want to carry our friends with us. That is why Paul speaking, we can refer to yesterday's inspirational segment. One of the points that he said, for you to keep on track, is you should be aware that there will be others taking other paths, choosing other goals, and trying to get you to go along with them. So what happens is that, for instance, if I have this path of speaking, training, and coaching, and during this path, I realize that, okay, I have to spend a lot of time alone, because if I spend time with my friends, they are not going to impact me in any positive way in line with my purpose. Why? Because maybe their purpose is to be a farmer. And right now, farming and speaking and coaching and training, they are just not going together. So what do? Now I'll begin to influence my friend to say, you know what, come on board. You speak well, you do this well, you do that well. I think you'd make a very good public speaker. You need to be aware of such things. And one reason why people do that is because whenever they are pursuing their purpose, it's a lonely journey, but you have to endure, because as you get to the finish line, even before you get to the finish line, the benefits will start flowing. And as the benefits flow, they will not only flow to you, but they will also flow to your extended extended parties. They'll flow to your children, they'll flow to your community, they'll flow to your church, they'll flow to the organization that you're working with. They'll begin to flow there. So you need to realize that even as you're taking that journey that is purpose driven and it is lonely, you need to realize that in the short term it's going to hurt, but in the long run it's going to benefit you. It's really, really going to benefit you. So be aware when somebody comes and tells you to say, you know what, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. I'm actually doing this. I think from experience, I'm speaking from experience. I think I have had encounters where somebody tells me to say, what they are doing, I can also do, and I begin to do it. And as I begin to do it, I struggle. Why do I struggle? Because I have stepped out of my purpose, or because I am operating outside my purpose, because God has not equipped me to be in that office. That's the reason why I struggle. But for them, it's going smoothly. It's smooth sailing. Why? They are in their purpose. They're operating under their purpose. And then to take us further, we're going to look at the third point. The third point, which is that you got to know that there is definitely an easy street, but an easy street is a dead end street. You got to know that there is definitely an easy street, but an easy street is a dead end street. As you're pursuing that journey, there are going to be people that are going to come and say, I see how you hustle. I see how, you spend time doing this, but I don't see the fruits. I don't see the fruits coming through. Why don't you try this? 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 And as you try this, like I just mentioned earlier, you find that that person is excelling with no bad intentions. When that person comes to you and they tell you to say, join me, do this, join me, do that, they really don't have bad intentions. They just want to help you out, But you've got to realize that every person has got the purpose for existence. And once you realize that, it will be very easy for you to flow. And this point actually reminds me of the elephant and the dog story, which is a very famous story that I believe all of us have heard. I really, really love this story when it comes to this particular point, and I would love to share it, with you. An elephant and a dog become pregnant at the same time. 3 months down the line, the dog gave birth to 6 puppies. 6 months later, the dog was pregnant again, and 9 months on, it gave birth to another dozen puppies. The pattern continued. On the 18th month, the dog approached the elephant questioning, "Are you sure that you're pregnant? We became pregnant on the same birth. I gave birth 3 times to a dozen puppies, and they are now grown to become big dogs. Yet you're still pregnant. What's going on?" The elephant replied, "There's something I want you to understand. What I'm carrying is not a puppy but an elephant. I only give birth to one in 2 years. When my baby hits the ground, the earth feels it. When my baby crosses the road, human beings stop and they watch in admiration. What I carry draws the attention. So what I'm carrying is mighty and great. Don't lose faith when you see others achieving their success. Don't be envious of others' results. If you haven't received your success, don't despair. Say to yourself, my time is coming, and when it hits the surface of the earth, people will yield in admiration. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. The story of the elephant and the dog. You know, when you're doing something and the results are not showing, people will come. They will come and they will tell you to say, you are doing this thing. You are saying the God that you serve has created you with a purpose for existence. You are saying you are living a purpose-driven life, and yet we do not see the results. I want you to be motivated today to keep on track, knowing that it is going to pay. Like the elephant, when you give birth, it's going to be a contract that you cannot resist. When that contract comes, it's going to be a contract that is going to be undeniable. When your purpose begins to bear fruit, it's going to be fruit that the whole world is going to see. When the dogs come to you, in this case, remember that you are an elephant. When the dogs start barking, in this case, please be encouraged. That is what I had for you on our motivational segment today. I hope and trust that you are going to be purpose driven. Whether you see the results today or not, remember that as long as you are in the will of God, which is your purpose for existence, the sun is going to shine. And not only will it shine on you, but it's also going to reflect on your children, and the people that surround you will be a partaker of the glory of God. Remember that when God created you, He saw that in this world there is a problem that only you can solve, that only you can bring the solution to. So don't look down on yourself. Even if it looks like you ain't doing anything today, remember that you are compared to the elephant. You're not a dog in this journey of life. So for those comments, contributions, questions, please drop them, and I'm going to read them. We have a comment from Erica. Erica says following. Okay, thanks, Erica. Erica, thank you so much for being part and parcel of our motivational segment. And we also have a comment from Jemima. And Jemima says, good evening. Jemima, good evening to you. Thank you so much for being part and parcel of our motivational segment. I am very encouraged. I saw you online yesterday during the inspirational segment. And I am really encouraged because I know how busy you are. But for you to take time and be part and parcel, I'm truly humbled. I say thank you. We have another comment from Zamiwe. Zamiwe says, indeed, the pie is big enough for everyone to take a bite. That is so, so true. That is very, very true. The pie is indeed big enough for everyone to take a bite. So if there's anybody still typing in their comments, contributions, questions, please keep them flowing. And if in case I round up this segment without reading your comment, I will start with your comment. I will start with your comment in tomorrow's leadership segment. Like I said on Moments with Inonge, it's building upon building. Let's say block upon block. The inspirational segment lays the foundation. The motivational segment, we build on that foundation. And during the leadership segment, we just put a roofing on top of that building. So if I were you, I would actually stay tuned. Stay tuned for that, for our leadership segment, which is tomorrow night, if you're in Southern Africa, 7:45 p.m., which is 1945. So at this point, I guess people are still typing their comments. People are still typing their comments. So thank you so much for being part and parcel of our motivational segment. I will meet you in the leadership segment, and we're going to put a roofing on top of the building that we have just built. Thank you, thank you, thank you.